Our UFC Hall of Fame is a little bit different, right? You have a fight wing that is used as the conduit here to get Robbie Lawler into the Hall of Fame, but I think he understands the value of his contributions to this sport. He's a UFC Hall of Famer, and then he needs just 38 seconds, Ray, to get Nico Price out of there. I mean, all the handicappers I talked to absolutely love that plus money next to his name. I think one of our guys even hit it at plus 525 to have Robbie Lawler by knockout, but just an incredible moment in that arena, something I'll never forget. He seems like a Ray Longo type of guy, that Robbie Lawler.
Without a doubt. First off, I'm so happy that a retirement fight finally went the way I think it should always go. And that's what we saw. We saw perfection in everything. The presentation with the video, the knockout, Robbie Lawler, a stoic figure breaking down. And, I could tell you, all I could tell you is that he's as nice of a guy that you see on TV in person. I think there's nobody that's going to disagree with that, John, right? That's a fact. But when we did season 6 of the show, was, obviously used against Sarah, we were all in the same condo complex. So I'd hang out in the pool every day and we'd bullshit. He was, back then when tensions were high, between like Sarah and Hughes, there was absolutely no love lost. That guy was a stand-up guy. We'd have some great conversations. He's into physical fitness. He always loves working out. He's always in shape. I think he's going to be a great coach, like what he alluded to. He will give back to the sport. And what else do you want from a guy? I think the guy, what he's done, and when he resurrected his career back in the UFC, leaves the UFC, comes back in and goes on a run from hell against the highest quality of opponents. There's nothing to be said. This is a storybook ending, and I'm just happy it ended the way it did. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It does bring a tear to your eye, and even seeing him well up a little bit was crazy. So hats off to Robbie Lawler. Just a great human being, great guy, and I don't think there's one person that would tell you differently than that.
Kenny?
Yeah, well said, man. Robbie Lawler would come out to the Last of the Mohicans song. I think it's called Promontory. And it's one of the few walkout songs I get chills every single time I hear it and I see Robbie Lawler, that absolute warrior, walk out to it. It's a war song. And many say that they're going to go out and they're going to go to war when they go out to fight. Robbie Lawler actually means it. And when Robbie Lawler went to punch you, he was trying to not beat you or knock you out. He was trying to break you into pieces. He was trying to erase you from existence. That was the way that he fought. And when you think about the fact that his career spans well over 2 decades, how many evolutions of mixed martial arts is that? He was able to retain that level of killer instinct, aggression, knockout power, from the time he was 19 years old, that he made his rookie debut, right? He made his debut in the UFC at 19 years old, knocking out grown-ass men, to the time that he knocked, his opponent out on Saturday night. And when you actually think about that he was able to stay relevant and dangerous for that long, it's
crazy.
Mind-bending. It's mind-bending. And if a movie was written about Robbie Lawler, okay, you wouldn't be able to do his career justice. That's what this guy has done. If you look up mixed martial arts in the dictionary, you would probably see Robbie Lawler's face. And if you saw his first fight all the way into now, you could actually get probably a complete picture of what MMA looked like and how it evolved. So, salute Robbie Lawler. Congratulations. Thank you for all the amazing memories. But, when you really put into perspective of what he did when he first came into the game to where he is now, that's about as good as it gets. If anybody deserves a Cinderella ending, it's Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, I'll tell you, John, remind me never to follow this guy ever.
I know. He's on fire today.
It's like the comedy thing, man. I don't want to follow this guy. He's a fucking animated guy, hitting everything nail on the head. No, I tell you, but it is.
He's a 101, man.
And you watched a Mad Hatter, a wild man at 19, really develop into a technically beautiful fighter, which isn't easy to do. You know what I mean?
Dude, and sometimes he did it, like you said, Ray. He did it in a time when the welterweight division was insane. He reinvented himself. Yeah. He reconstructed himself. You know, Robbie was on, he was on the downs for a little bit. He was out in Strike Force. He was losing in the UFC. He was out of the UFC. Then they brought him in. You're like, we're going to see the same story. He comes in. He looks like the same guy. He was not the same guy. He retained that same killer instinct and knockout power, but he was better everywhere. And then he went on to win the world championship and the welterweight division, which was absolutely insane at the time. So I'm blown away by everything that this guy has achieved.
Yeah, when he came back into the UFC, how many guys thought he was going to do that? That's the other thing. I did. Because that division was stacked. 100%. Guys thought he was going to do that, and he did it. So, again, Kenny, what did you study in college? English? An English major?
Political science and communications. Yeah.
I mean, I got to go back to school. That's what it is.
That's a good time to go back to school.
Yeah. What course would you take? Journalism? What should I take? Creative speaking? Hey, dude, I can't. What the hell am I doing here?
Right. I mean, age is just a number. Why not go advance your education in your 60s, right?
Oh, I'd go right back in there and corrupt all those young little woke bastards. Imagine me sitting in the classroom now. Imagine how bad that would be.
Kenny mentioned sort of the facial progression of Robbie Lawler telling the course of his career, and nod to our live production team, Zach Candido, everybody else, for getting that into the show and into the arena, because when he saw himself with like a full head of hair, you immediately see Robbie Lawler well up, and it was just a real special moment. Now, most people of you, if you are watching on the DraftKings network and you see this image of Robbie Lawler, Ken-Flo, look up, motherfucker. So look at this, right? So all you need to do is see this.
This is my favorite thing.
To know that this is an interview with Ron Kroc, right? And Robbie Lawler is asked essentially, what he would maybe take from Conor McGregor. So I should have put his soul drop in the bank for Cody today. And I promise you, heretofore, not unlike our Betch Kohea drop, we will absolutely have but Cody, funny. I know you're going to do it in post. I don't want fucking post. You know how I feel about falling off chairs and fucking post production. This is live. I think I have it all queued up. So
I wasn't taking his neck.
What were you going to take?
His soul.
I wasn't taking his neck. Oh, what were you going to take? His soul, right?
Dude, and the look that goes along with it is just like, he means it. He means it. I mean, he really does.
I want to go 4 wide and bring Brian Petrie into the conversation. And of course, Cody, my man, if you do want to make that his soul louder in post-production, that is well within your right as the executive producer of the show. But Brian Petrie on social media at Brian Petrie MMA, host of the
talking
MMA
Rob Lawler?
Podcast. Yeah, we're talking big Bob Lawler. And
talking Bob Lawler, boys. Petrie. All right. What's up? What's up?
So many people revere this guy. It's not just his fellow fighters, right? In terms of the fan base. I mean, one of our best listeners, Bob Lavalita, has been just talking for years. This is like most people's favorite fighter, I think, that I talk to. And I know you hold him in high regard as well, BP.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm an emotional guy, but I don't cry, right? I'm not a crier, never have been. Watching Robbie well up and then seeing the video package you guys did, realizing I was watching 95% of those live with, as his career. And I was like, wow. And like Kenny said, this guy's one of one. You know what I mean? Went outside the UFC, had success, went to 85, bounced up, but he was always exciting, was always funny. I'm glad you played the Take His Soul clip. I mean, it just doesn't get better. I mean, I played him. I didn't have him by knockout, but nice little win there for me. But man, Robbie Lawler is just, I mean, this is a guy, I mean, I remember seeing him. He came on my radar, obviously, when he entered the UFC, and he knocked out Tiki Goosen, who I know he's a great manager nowadays. I don't know if he's fully waking up yet, because that was something else. That dude is an animal. So proud, so happy for Robbie. Hopefully this is it. There's no bare knuckle in the future.
Oh no, he's done.
Okay, good.
I feel pretty good about that.